Hello everybody, John Liebman here. Welcome to ForBassPlayersOnly.com. We're talking with Jack Casady. How did you end up as a bass player?
Well, I'm not sure end up is the right word, but in any case, I started playing guitar at 12, and I started to see I remember the first time I saw an actual Fender bass, you know, the original blonde slab body that now they call a telly bass.
Yeah.
And that was around 1958. I remember Yorm and I went into this bar, and I guess then I was 15, he was 18 or something, and they asked us to sit in, and there was one guitar up there. You know, this was where the stage was behind the bar, at a little half-moon shape, you know, thing. But I remember the set of drums. There was a precision bass, blonde, and another Fender guitar. So we sat in, and Yorm had been playing acoustic guitar, and he had a little, I think he had a Mustang guitar, something like that, a little three-quarter neck one. In any case, he sang and strummed, and so he did the rhythm with the guitar, and I remember I picked up the bass. I didn't even know how it was tuned. It just kind of moved my way through it. But then later on, about a year and a half later, a friend of mine, Danny Gatton, who, God bless him, he's not with us anymore, fabulous guitarist out of Washington, D.C., he called me up. We were on the same circuit and filling in for each other in various bands in Washington, D.C., and he said, listen, my bass player's sick, and I got this 2-week gig booked, you know, I believe it was like, you know, $115 a week, which was huge money then, considering gasoline was 19 cents a gallon.
Oh.
And I filled in. I said, I don't know, I've never played bass before. He says, how hard can a bass? It's got 4 strings. And so anyway, that started. I played his precision bass at that time. That was the precision that is now so famous, with the offset pickup and the sculpted out body. And I enjoyed the bass. I really enjoyed the tonal range it was in. And I decided, I noticed through an ad that year, 1960, they had just started manufacturing what was called the jazz bass. 2 pickups, 2 bar pickups, but the nut was a little more narrow than the precision bass, and I tried it out. I loved it, and so I bought that one. That's the bass I wish I had today. In any case, I got stolen a couple of years later, but it had, it was the first issue, had concentric pots, 1960. I really enjoyed the bass, and my work quota, of course, increased dramatically. So for a number of years, I played both guitar and bass in different bands and different gigs. You know.
Now, I know a lot of our visitors would like to know. We're talking with Jack Casady. How did the whole Jefferson Airplane phenomenon get started?
Well, you've jumped ahead here.
Well, okay, let's fill in the gaps.
It started in 1965 through Marty Ballin and Paul Kanner. They were on a folk circuit and in San Francisco, and they teamed up and wanted to start a band, and they were just starting to add some drums to a lot of these folk musicians that never played in electric bands before, played, you know, in R&B bands or any of that. So they're starting to add some drums, and a lot of it was you know, through a sort of a non-professional network of college students picking up the guitar and learning chords and songs and whatnot. And although Marty had a career early in the early 60s, around 62, he had been a produced pop singer in Los Angeles and had recorded and put out a couple of singles. But in any case, they teamed up, and Paul knew Jorma Kalkinen, who had come out to California, transferred out from Antioch a couple of years earlier, and had seen him play his fingerstyle guitar work at various folk clubs. and ask him to join. And I think July or August of 1965. I'd had a conversation with the Army. I was still in Washington, D.C. and playing in a lot of rhythm and blues bands, and then had enrolled back into college. You're talking 1965 here, so if you weren't in college, then you got drafted. Because these young people don't know today, if you were 18 years old and you weren't in an essential job or whatnot, you were in the Army. So, unless you were in school and you had to have a C average, you know. So, in any case, I was in college in 1965. This was the summer of '65. We take a break. I was about to enroll back in September, and I had a conversation with the Army about what I was doing there on the phone with a mutual friend's house, and he told me what he was doing. He told me he had just joined a folk rock band. I said, you're the purist. You're going to play, play with drums and all that. So he said, yeah, he was having a lot of fun, and he says, what am I doing? I said, yeah, I'm going to school, keeping out of the Army, and doing a lot of bass playing. And he says, you playing bass now? I said, yeah, I'm playing bass. So he says, hold on a minute. So he called me back. He says, listen, I'd love you to come out and join us. This is without hearing me at all. And he says, I need an ally in the band. And so I came out in October of 1965, 2 months after the Jefferson Airplane had been formed, replaced the first bass player, and started, I think I had my first job at Harmon Gymnasium October 16th, 1965.
Wow. And the rest is history. I'm John Liebman. This is for BassPlayersOnly.com.